How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about BBIG, which ended up posting up a green day, being up over 5% on the day, 5.33% to be exact. So many are asking me, what do I see this stock doing as the week progresses? So I won't waste any more time. Let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is the technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information. The reason why this is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know the buying and the selling behavior on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we're going to be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for BBIG. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $2.37, being up 5.33%. On the low, it tested $2.19, and then on the high, testing $2.39. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 10.128 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days is at 14.514 million shares. So we did have below average volume on the day, but we've seen some strength in the stock. Now, when we take a look at our chart, which is a daily chart, you can see from the RSI down below, it's at 41.45. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here on the chart, we are below the 200-day, the 100-day, the 50-day, and as well as the 21-day EMA. So yes, BBIG is looking bearish, trading below all of our major moving averages. But let's keep in mind of what happened today. So we ended up seeing a low of $2.19. So going into tomorrow, if this level can continue to hold, it can get very interesting. And here's why I say that. We ended up seeing a high at $2.39. So if we're able to actually break this high going into tomorrow, we already know how BBIG can move. So we could possibly get a move where we want to see some price action above $2.50. This would be very crucial because then we can reclaim the 21-day EMA at $2.76. I can see bulls wanting to step in. But if we are unable to get above $2.40, then don't be surprised if we end up forming another lower low. And what does that look like? Yes, BBIG can start getting down to levels where we have here at $2.12. And of course, if this level did break, then you'd want to see if it could hold up $2. And we know if it does break through $2, there's not much support there. And the next level that you want to look forward to is around 155. Again, I'm personally not seeing this as of yet. I'm looking forward to seeing if we can actually get a bounce off of this low right here, make that move, get to the 21-day EMA, and then essentially, if we have market strength, see if it can get into around the 270s. Now, let's move on to the short interest information. So we're going to take a look at the recent institutional ownership and short interest information for BBIG. Scrolling down further on the page, green rows indicate new positions, while red rows indicate closed positions. So when we take a look at the recent filings here, we have FNY Investment Advisors, LLC, that went in with calls with a value of 50 shares. And then we also have Xane Derivatives that purchased 26,642 shares. And now when we take a look at the short interest, the off-exchange short volume ratio is at 47.52%. And then for the off-exchange short volume, it is just over 2.86 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 0, updated 27 minutes ago. And then for the short borrow fee rate, it is at 37.31%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume, you can see for the close of the 21st, it was at 49.46, and then for the close of the 22nd being at 47.52. So what does this show us right away? BBIG does have short squeeze potential, especially since the short interest percentage of the flow is at 16.19%. Now let's move on to the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for BBIG. So we see on the inflow it's at 4.69 million, and then on the outflow it's at 4.46 million. So we had an inflow day. Taking a look at the breakdown on the large, it was 0. On the medium, it was 2.48 million, and then on the small, it was 2.21 million. Taking a look at the outflow side, you can see on the large, it was 0.46 million. On the medium, it was 2.41 million, and then on the small, it was 1.59 million. Taking a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you can see for today, April the 25th, we have that outflow of just over 462,000. Analyzing the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tend to represent the retail side, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at the large, which represents whales, institutions, and funds, we had more selling than we had buying. And then when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 5.48%. And you know what? This is not too bad of a level for a volatile stock like BBIG. And one thing that was clear, when it hit that low of the day, we had a lot of demand, there was a lot of buying, and it was able to make quite the move. So that's why you want to keep an eye on this play. I'll talk about it further inside of the final thoughts, so let's get into it right now. So for my final thoughts for BBIG, when it comes to the price action, like I was saying inside of the technicals, you want to see it stay above $2.12. The good thing is it was able to have support at $2.18, and then we had a lot of buying coming into the stock. Now the next level that you want to see a break above is $2.50, or to be exact, being above $2.48. And if we have more buyers wanting to step into this play, that's where you want to see BBIG getting above the 270 level. Now if we have weakness inside of the markets, and if it decides to pull back and that 212 level does break, then we can see it possibly getting down to $2. And if it breaks through $2, that's where we can start seeing the 180s, and if that level breaks, we can go all the way down to around $1.55. So that is something you want to be aware of, and it also gives you a good idea of how you want to set up your stop loss. So here's an example. Let's say if you wanted to jump into this play, do keep in mind, as far as for the technicals, it has been forming lower lows and as well as lower highs. So again, it is not looking the strongest. This is just assuming that you really want to get into this play and you want to ride that potential move to the upside, all right? So for my stop loss, of course, it would depend on my entry. So let's say if I took an entry in BBIG at around $2.25, then I would say, you know what, I'm going to set up my stop loss right at $2.10. So I risk 15 cents to the downside. And as far as what I'm looking for on the upside, since I bought in at 225, I'm going to be looking for a move to around 270. So again, the reward is bigger than the risk. And this is how you have to look at these plays if you're going to be swinging it. This is not financial advice. I am just using this as an example. I want to make sure I'm being clear. And if I was going to be getting into it, I'll be looking to actually get in at a lower price, and I'd make sure to keep my stop tight because there's always another opportunity in the market as well. Also, when we went on Fintel, taking a look at the recent institutional ownership, we do see some activity, but we're not seeing a lot. And then taking a look at the short interest information, it doesn't have short squeeze potential whatsoever. I'm not shocked. This stock has pulled back quite a bit. They did have earnings that came out, and of course, it wasn't going to be impressive. I know many of you don't want to hear that, but this is a speculative play at the end of the day. If you're in this, you're not in this for the fundamentals. Let's be real here. Many people are saying this stock is going to go to the moon. And you know what? I'm perfectly fine with that. But as long as you have a strategy and you have a good idea of what your entry is going to be and as well as for your exit, then do what works best for you. And the reason why I'm emphasizing this point, because when it comes to your trades, you have to take responsibility. That's how you learn. That's how you get better. That is how you build consistent returns inside of the stock market. And before I close this video out, please keep an eye on the market conditions. This is a big time week when it comes to earnings. And since BBIG is in the tech sector, if we see a lot of strength, so we have companies like Apple, Amazon, and so forth coming out with surprise beats, then I want to see the market pick up and I want to see BBIG flow with it. Again, rising tides float all boats. But again, if earnings ends up being disappointing, you already know what's going to happen to BBIG. You know what's going to happen to the market as a whole. So I want to make sure I'm being clear about that. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I can't wait to see how the stock performs going into tomorrow. We'll talk soon.